today I'm speaking with M.E. Kirwan, who is the founder and president of A2 Art Storage and Services. So I know you have a background in storage, so let's start there. Can you first tell me about that?
Yeah, sure. So my dad founded Acorn Mini Storage in the mid 1980s. He had one dedicated self-storage facility here in Minneapolis. Now we have 15 locations throughout the Twin Cities metro area. We actually are the second largest self-storage owner-operator here in the Twin Cities. And the business's current president is my husband, Chris Kirwan. And then I actually joined the business myself about 6 years ago, coming in off of a marketing career. So I have been the director of marketing for the last 6 years at Acorn, and really transitioned to A2 full-time here in the last few weeks. So I have a deep knowledge of the storage industry in my family.
Yeah, that's great. So A2, let's talk about that. So when did you launch that endeavor, and what influenced its launch? And I guess just tell me broadly, what is A2?
Yeah, so A2 Art Storage and Services is our museum grade fine art storage concept here. We have a location in the Twin Cities, and we really were influenced by the fact that around 6 years ago or so, the Twin Cities market was identified as this really underserved self-storage market. And as a result, we saw a huge amount of development in a short amount of time. And we kind of have been losing out on opportunities to grow Acorn. So we wanted to continue investing in the Twin Cities, but it just got to be harder and harder. And we knew we needed to do something differently. So we spent 2 years researching this museum storage concept. It's a concept that does exist in other parts of the country, and decided, based on our knowledge of property management, our knowledge in the storage industry, and our deep contacts here in the Twin Cities, that this museum grade fine art storage concept was one that we wanted to pursue.
That's great. So what did demand look like for art storage, and what does it look like today?
Yeah. So honestly, I'm not sure we even understand what the extent of the opportunity is here. How this kind of started was meeting with institutions here locally who were saying, there's nothing, this concept exists, it exists in other parts of the country, it's successful, we just don't have anything like it here. We don't have anything that takes into account, the climate, the security, the pest management, kind of all of the pieces that have come together to create A2. And so we just kind of kept hearing, like, there's an opportunity for this year, there's an opportunity for this year. What we have seen even since our launch in mid-May is not just institutions, but private collectors kind of crawling out of the woodwork and looking for this type of storage here locally. So it is really interesting. And some of the people are the names that we might recognize, but many of them are not. They're just passion collectors who have more than they can put on their walls, and so they've landed with us, which is fantastic. And so, in terms of the demand, we set really what we think are reasonable goals for ourselves. We recognize, again, coming from this storage industry background, that it's going to take a while to fill up our facility. But we are having regular people reaching out, looking for our services. And I really kind of think we've only scratched the surface here, having just been open since mid-May.
Wow. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how, the A2 operates. So how is it similar to other, self-storage facilities that, people use every day, and how is it different?
Yeah, so there are so many similarities, and then there also are these key differences too. So A2 maintains the same conditions as self-storage. So we look at climate, we look at security, we look at pest control, we look at fire suppression. but just in a really more specialized manner. So for instance, our art storage areas at A2 are set at 70 degrees and 50% humidity. We treat for pests on a more comprehensive basis. So we have monthly visits from pest control. We have regular daily walkthroughs by Acorn staff. And we have Acorn staff members that are actually trained in pest identification and mitigation. So we don't even need to call on experts to kind of do that first line of defense. Our facility is really closely monitored. We have comprehensive camera coverage throughout the interior and exterior of the facility, and our camera recordings are even backed up to the cloud versus an on-site server. So really so again, it's the same mix of things we have at our mini storage sites. We just kind of took it to the next level in that way. So we had a good foundation really, and great partnerships already with so many service providers. And we've just been able to deepen those with A2, which has been fantastic to work with people we already know and trust. The main difference between our fine art storage facility and a self-storage facility is that we operate as a warehouse. So we have a really sophisticated database that tracks our inventory. We are actually taking possession of the art here in a warehousing model, which means that we have art handlers, trained art handlers, and a registrar who's not only been trained in art handling, but also storage and what it means for different mediums. So how do we store a painting versus a sculpture? Where can that go safely in the facility? What's the best location for it? And that is, in self-storage, we never touch our customers' possessions. So having this hands-on, element really was a big departure for us. And that's kind of why we took so long to research and figure out how we could make that work. So.
Yeah, that's great. And so I'm assuming the building which you guys constructed, correct?
We actually, we rehabbed an existing facility.
Yeah.
So,
tell me a little bit about that process.
Yeah, so it's interesting. We looked at a ton of different options as we were looking for facilities to open this concept in. And this facility in particular is great because it's not adjacent to railroad tracks. It does not have bodies of water nearby, which actually can be pretty hard to find in the Twin Cities. Many times there are these retention pond lakes, which can become an issue if there's a huge amount of water on a given season. We were also looking for an owner-operator single-use facility. So we wanted a building that we could own, where we were the only tenant, and we were able to find that with this facility. We also were looking for a building that was all on one level. So elevators for these purposes can be huge deterrents because so much of the art is so big that you're really limited then to what you can take to higher floors with the size of the elevator. So this facility is all on one level. We have a huge parking lot, so we can accommodate even a full-size semi can back up to a dock. And this facility also came with a fully fenced perimeter, so we have that coverage as well. We also added a backup diesel generator to the facility so that if we lose power, we have full coverage for our systems. So that was another addition we made. But so we really lucked out with the facility, kind of the bones, and we just customized it inside to fit the art storage specifications.
Okay, great. Well, there's one thing you brought up that I wanted to ask about was, what type or size of art do you guys house, or can you house?
Yeah, so that's something that we really did a lot of thought about.
Yeah.
Because art these days can be enormous. So
Sure.
our limitations, because of the fact that we're just on this one level, are really the size of our doors. So we have a 12-foot high door into our loading area. It's 10 feet wide. And then our internal doors are 11 feet on the diagonal. So we can really accommodate most size objects.
Mhm.
The when there are other limitations around art, many times the pieces are able, the work is able to come into multiple pieces. So those become easier to transport. On the rare occasion that something is so big that it can't fit,
Mhm.
um, you can take things off of the canvas, off of the frames.
Okay.
And so there are sometimes other ways that we can accommodate getting the work in or out of the facility. And those we do, with the guidance of the owner, the artist, if that person is available, certainly our registrar, and any other curators or conservationists that may be available to help with a decision like that. So we don't just kind of make these decisions on the fly.
Mhm.
We found a facility that really can accommodate a huge amount of work.
Okay, awesome. Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. I guess the last question for you was so you launched this endeavor in May. So what's next? Are you looking to add another fine art storage facility, or is there another Acorn project in the works?
Yeah. So we have kind of these two growth paths. So on the Acorn side, we are continuing to grow the business. We are actively looking for opportunities to either build or buy existing self-storage facilities throughout the Minnesota region, really.
Mhm.
Um, we're looking, we've kind of broadened our reach there in terms of where we're looking. And we see a lot of great opportunities on the horizon. Chris even sent me something this morning where he thinks could
Mhm.
be a good Acorn 16. So we're always looking to make more investments here
Mhm.
in Minnesota. And on the A2 front, we are just really excited to see the fruition of all this work and planning and development,
Yeah.
come to fruition.
Yeah.
So the we are meeting new clients. We are seeing what their needs are. Another really interesting part about this business, which is so different from self-storage, is we can help with some more of the kind of ancillary needs. So all
Mhm.
of our clients really have in common this need for storage, but maybe it's an estate, and so they're dealing with cataloging. Maybe it's a collector who needs works photographed and condition reported. Maybe it's an artist who is doing sale of work. So we are helping our clients on an individual basis, making referrals in areas where we don't have subject matter expertise, and parts of the industry where we don't, um, that we just aren't currently in the process of doing. And so just hearing of the different stories of our clients' needs and helping them achieve their goals has been so much fun. And we have 30,000 square feet of storage here, and we, having just been open in May, we love the trajectory where this business is going, and we have room to grow here on site. So we're just really looking forward to what that opportunity is, and meeting more people who we can continue to help.
Awesome. Great. Well, I think that was it for my questions. So is there anything else you wanted to add in or mention?
I don't think so. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It's
Yeah, totally. It was great learning about this facility. I have never heard of anything like this before our conversation. So that was great.
Yeah. Well, we are unique in the Twin Cities to
Yeah.
have these museum grade specifications. So
Mhm.
it is a new product here for this market, and we're just thrilled to have been able to bring it here and be operating. So
Yeah, I've always heard, I guess, just anecdotally that the Twin Cities had a really big, I know it has a really big, music scene and arts cultural scene. So I assume that would also be the case for fine art pieces. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There are a huge number of collectors here.
Mhm.
And I think, we see collectors who are collectors themselves. There are people where their parents and grandparents were collectors, and now they have this collection and they want to be, responsible stewards of it.
Mhm.
People, even in people you wouldn't expect many times have deep collections of maybe it's just even one artist that they've been so passionate about,
Mhm.
that they've continued to amass the work of.
Yeah.
So we have, given our like the variety of institutions here, we have the same variety and appetite for collecting.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, it's great to be able to serve all of those individuals.
Yeah. Awesome. Great. Well, thank you again.
Yeah, thank you.